And I love you, Gina. I love you. I love you, Christiane. I'm just stating a fact.
Gina too. Gina's
just stating
awesome.
a fact here.
Gina's too cool. I've hung out with her and we've chatted up on several occasions. She's great. I think what happened with Gina is Elite XC created this 140-pound division. The reason they did that is because the majority of the women were at 135, and Gina was a bigger girl who should have been fighting at 145. But at the time, there weren't as many people at 45, so they wanted to draw the girls from 35 to come up. So they created this 140-pound division and asked her to cut down. You know, so she had a lot of trouble doing that, and she missed weight all these different times. Not that that's an excuse. I mean, you're contracted to that weight, you should make it. But now, I think they've taken it back to the regular division at 145, I don't think she'll have as much trouble. I'm really counting on her to make weight for her next fight. I really hope it happens. Christian Cyborg was a real letdown for me.
The fight with...
No,
Okono?
the fact that she didn't make weight.
Right.
She's fought at 135 in the past. She's fought at 140. She fought Shayna Baszler at 140, and she made weight.
But there's a big difference between Okono and Baszler. I mean, Baszler's a very tough fighter, and maybe Cyborg took that fight a lot more seriously than she took this last fight, which, by the way, is a shame for Strikeforce.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's their first outing with a women's fight division or women's fight for Strikeforce on the Showtime card I'm talking about. I know they've had plenty before.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that didn't turn out so well, particularly since when Gina's fought in both of those Elite XC shows, she's stolen the show.
Yes.
And Julie Kedzie, too. Great fighters. And you know, of course, Caitlin Young. Great, yep. I mean, really good fights. Really, not just Gina, just great fights. Real quick, what advice can you give to people who want to get into sport, especially women? And then I also want to hear your thoughts on your career and what, if anything, is holding you back.
Best advice I can give to anyone that wants to get into the career: find a good gym, find a place that you're comfortable with, and look for a place that it really does offer MMA. If that's the sport that you want to get into. If you just want to do jiu-jitsu, find a jiu-jitsu place. That's great. But make sure that you've got a great stand-up coach, you've got a great ground coach there, and there are other fighters, or they're looking to develop fighters, you know, in all the areas. You know, make sure that it's someplace that you can get to, you know, that it works with your schedule. And
wait, before I go there, okay. Actors, for instance, I always tell actors, you have to treat it like a business.
Yeah.
Is it the same for your sport?
I think you can start out as a hobby and for fun. You can fight amateur, maybe lower level pro. But yeah, as you do, if you want to make it a career, or if you do want to get further up into the sport and into the big shows, you have to treat it as a business. You have to take smart fights, and you can't just fight for peanuts. You know, the days of fighting for a T-shirt in a hotel room are over. You really can't do that anymore, or you shouldn't.
What's holding you back?
I'm not sure. I'd want. Sometimes I think maybe it's my record. At 17-1, there's not a lot of girls out there that have that many fights. You know, so are we having trouble having girls step up to fight me, or does it just look bad if I'm fighting a girl that's 5-1 or 6-1? Also, are there just not enough slots? Do I just not have a marketing team behind me? I really don't know. Skills there.
How do you fix it? How do you fix it? What is that next step for you? How do you market yourself in a different way? Obviously,
coming on your show.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, coming. You know,
getting myself out there.
Yeah.
Because the general fans, they don't know who I am. I haven't been on CBS. I haven't been on Showtime. You know, I'm not in the major magazines. You know, I didn't appear in Maxim. So I guess I just really need to get myself out there more. You know, that's the best thing I can do.
All right. Last question, I promise. You guys, you moved back home after your boyfriend was killed in Iraq.
Yes.
What was he doing there? How did he die?
He was over there with Special Forces. His unit was in Iraq, and his convoy was hit by an IED, and he and the driver were killed, and I believe three of the other guys did make it out. But that was August 23rd, 2007. Yeah.
How did that affect your fighting career?
Actually, I decided that I was going to throw myself into my career, and I was going to spend all my time in the gym, and to just try and not so much block it out, but that was going to be how I was going to cope with it. So I had one fight for Bodog, and then that went, and I had all of 2008 off. I was tied up in the contract, and that was the worst. I had nothing to look forward to. I had nothing coming up, so I'm just kind of training and spinning my wheels and just. All
right. Well, it's a new year. Lots of new opportunities coming up.
Yes.
So hopefully something will happen, either at Strikeforce or WEC or somewhere.
Until then, I'll be in Atlantic City on June 5th. So everybody come down and see me at the Trump Marina for Extreme Challenge.
June 5th. Mm-hmm. That's a tough weekend for MMA.
No kidding.
A real tough weekend for MMA. Some people are going to be in St. Louis, some people are going to be in San Jose, and some people are going to be in Atlantic City. All right, that does it for this edition of Fox Fight Game. I'm Mike Strzok. I want to say thank you very much to LaRosa for coming up.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the panel, on
Great.
a Fight Game panel. So until next time, enjoy the fights.